Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to make this do-rag, and without further ado, we're going to jump right in. A pair of scissors, and we'll need some stitch markers. You need about 2. And have a yarn needle in hand. Okay, my space is not that big to work with, but we just gonna make it work, okay? So the first thing you want to do, you do have the option to have this. You can have a measuring tape if you want to see how long this is. I made this a couple times, so I kind of know where I want to go. But the first thing you want to do is start off with a slip knot. And then you're going to chain in an even number, however long you will want this to reach. So my base or average chain is about 70 chains. So I'm going to make 70 chains and then I'll be right back. Okay, we're coming up on our last few chains. All right, we have 70 chains. My table is not long enough to show you, but it's okay, but it has some stretch. So it's not extremely long, but I don't want it extremely long. So if you do, go up in increments of 10, or if you don't, go down in increments. If you want it shorter, go down in increments of 10. Longer, up 10, shorter, down 10. Okay, so from here, we're gonna hold that last stitch and we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from here, we're gonna yarn over, not into the stitch that we're holding, but into the next stitch. We're gonna place a double crochet, chain 1. Okay, now we have the 70th stitch here, and then we have 1, 2, 3 that acts as our double crochet, and then we have the 1 here for our chain 1. So our 70th stitch ends up being a skip stitch. Okay, so we have a chain 1, skip 1, and then a double crochet, and then the chain 1 up top. Okay, we have a double crochet, skip stitch, double crochet, then chain 1, or double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, skip the following stitch, and go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1. Again, yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the following stitch with a double crochet, chain 1. One more time, yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the following stitch with a double crochet, chain 1. Okay, and you want to keep repeating this pattern all the way down until you get to the end. One quick tip that I will give you is, as you are moving along, you want to keep your chain in the same direction. You want to keep the chain going in the same direction. So I use my thumb and my middle finger to slide across, just like this. So that way you won't get your chain twisted and then it has this weird look along the edge. Okay, so you want to keep it going in the same direction the whole time. Don't let your direction, or don't let it, just keep hold of your yarn and then we'll keep in the same direction. Okay, so we're coming up on our last few stitches. So if you followed exactly what I did, your last stitch should fall right at the end. If not, it's not the end of the world. You can take it down and close that off, but it should land directly into the last stitch. Okay, so the key is to make sure that you skip that very first chain. Okay, you go into the next chain. So technically you go into your 69 chain, 59, 79, whatever chain number that is for you, that's the number you go into, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 3, 4, 5, 36 stitches for me. This is how long it is. Okay. So now we're going to rotate our work from here to here. Okay. We are going to do a chain 1, yarn over into this exact same stitch. We're going to do another double crochet. Okay, chain 1, yarn over, and into the same exact stitch, we're going to do another double crochet, chain 1. Okay, so you will have 3 double crochets and 3 chain 1 spaces into this last turning chain. Okay, now from here we're going to rotate our work like this. So now we're going to work along the underside of what we just did. So you're going to yarn over. Okay, I'm going to carry my tail behind like this. And don't forget you did 3 double crochets here. So we're going to move over here to this double crochet. And you should have 36, or you will have 35 double crochet going down, not including where we did the 3 double crochets. Okay, so you want to yarn over and into this chain, same yarn over and into the underside of this, you have your preference. You can go in through here. That leaves this bar going across. I personally don't like that, but you know, you do as you please and you do what you find to be best. So I'm going to go under the bar, which is going to create a little gap in between the stitches, but I'm fine with that because I'm doing a mesh stitch anyway. And then I'm going to chain 1. Okay, I'm going to yarn over, slide over to the next while still holding the little piece of tail that I have. Okay, going into the exact same stitch, but on the underside. I'm going to do a double crochet and I'm going to chain 1. And as you see, this is very loose. I'm not doing anything tight, and I am a very tight crocheter. So you want to make sure you have a loose hand if you want a more relaxed fit. Okay, so I'm yarning over again and into the bottom chain. I'm going to do another double crochet, chain 1. So it should look like this. Okay, now I want you to keep going all the way until we reach the other end, and then I'll be back to show you what to do. Okay, so we are coming back towards the end. Remember, every double crochet will have a corresponding double crochet. Okay, so I just did my last and into here. Remember, we are skipping this chain here. Okay, so you want to go into this chain here, all right, which is technically the bottom of the chain 3, so it's chain 1. I hope I didn't confuse you, but if you are confused, remember to skip this one, or you can count back 1, 2, 3 into the 4th chain, whichever way is more helpful for you to remember. You're going into the 4th chain and or from the bottom the 2nd chain. Okay, so just make sure you have done that. Okay, so here we go. This is what we have so far, this end all the way down. So from here I want you to turn your work, and then we're going to work a stacked single crochet. So what we're going to do is go in, pull up 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, go back into this 2nd bar here. So you're going to give yourself a little give, go into, as you see, like this bar here. Pull your yarn back a little tight so it can come back. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook. From here, you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. And this right here is a stacked single crochet. Now, if you want to just do a chain 4, please by all means do that, but it will have to be a chain 4 here. I don't personally like how thin and gappy and it looks like this, so I don't do chain 4s at the ends. I do my stacked single crochet. So from here, we're going to chain 1, because this counts as a double crochet, chain 1. If you did the chain 3, if you did the chain 4 here, it will count as 3 chains as a double crochet, and then the chain 4 will be the chain 1. Okay? I'm going to yarn over, and now, very simple, it's just a mesh pattern, okay? We're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, on top of the next double crochet. We're going to make a double crochet, then we have chain 1, top of the next double crochet, and do a double crochet, chain 1. So very simple. You want to keep repeating this all the way down. A very basic mesh stitch, nothing fancy. And I will meet you once we are down towards the end. Okay, I'm coming back to my last few chains, my last few double crochets. And as you see, my color change started to happen. I am using variegated yarn, so that will happen. So here at the last double crochet, chain 1, we are now at our 3 double crochets. So in this first double crochet, we're going to yarn over, make a chain 1, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same double crochet. Okay, then we're going to chain 1, yarn over, into the next double crochet. We're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work a little bit, and into this third double crochet here, we're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. All into that same stitch, and then chain 1. Okay, so now we went from having 3 to having 5. Okay, and then the pattern is going to continue as you did across the other side. You're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. On top of every single double crochet, there will be a double crochet. On top of every chain 1 space, you will have a chain 1 space. So just want to make sure that your boxes are matched up, everything is aligned. We'll weave that in later, and just keep going. And I'll meet you once we get to the end. Okay, so we're coming back on our last few double crochets. And so here, since we did that chain in the very beginning, we are going to skip this chain and go into the following chain, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly why. See, so to me, this just looks weird, but looks a little off. So you'll see as we come back to the next row how much more flush it looks doing a stacked single crochet at the end instead of a chain. But you do as you please, it's your preference. So it's the next row, row 2. Now from here, we're going to turn our work. And again, you start with the method that you prefer. I'm starting with a stacked single crochet, and then a chain 1. And again, very simple pattern. You will continue to repeat a double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one double crochet on top of each double crochet, chain one space on top of each chain one space. Regular mesh pattern. We will continue this pattern all the way down until we reach our points here. Okay, so just continue your pattern and I'll meet you back. Okay, so we're coming back for our last few double crochets. Double crochet, chain one. So now from here, starting in our B here, in that first double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one. We're putting a V stitch into each of these stitches. In that second stitch, we're going to do a double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one. Into the solo stitch here, we're going to make a double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, turn in the work, again, double crochet, chain one, double crochet. Okay, and last but not least, into this last B stitch of our double crochet, chain one, double crochet in the previous row. Okay, so the 3 turned into 5, turned into 10. 3 to the 5 to the 10. Okay, I know it looks a little weird, just trust the process. Okay, so we're going to turn, and one more time, continue this same pattern all the way to the end. Very simple. Double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one into each stitch. Okay, continue that all the way down and I'll meet you when we're at the end. Okay, we're back, and as you see, I had another color change pop up. So we're going to do this last double crochet before our final double crochet at the end of the row. So now with the stacked single crochet, the only thing you now have to worry about is skipping this chain one here and going right under the 2 loops and making your double crochet just like that. See how easy that is and how much more thicker it looks compared to the chain. So that's why I like the stacked single crochet, but again, it's your preference. So you want to turn your work, and we are growing, by the way. So start your row as you prefer, and continue that same pattern. Double crochet, chain one, double crochet on top of the next double crochet, chain one, and continue. Okay, there's nothing added here. We're going to keep doing the same pattern until we get to our beads. Okay, so we are back with our last double crochet right before we get to our beads. And now you are going to make sure you have that chain one there, double crochet, chain one into the next stitch. We're going to double crochet, chain one into the following double crochet. You will double crochet, chain one, and continue around the entire section. So you will have 10 double crochet chain ones across this top section here. We are not doing any increases. We are keeping it 1 stitch to 1 stitch throughout the rest of this pattern. Okay, So, and don't worry about this. This is part of the chain. We will weave that in. So here we go. So now you can see somewhat of a little curve dip. And this is where it's going to start forming around your head. So there is nothing different. You will do 1 stitch to 1 stitch across this entire thing, okay? Turn your work. Once you come down here, turn your work, and then you're gonna work back across. Once you get down here, what you're gonna do, turn your work and work back across. Okay, so you're gonna continue repeating that for a total of 10 rows total. So you wanna do 6 more rounds of mesh stitches going across. And just to let you know, this definitely depends on your head size. I would recommend about 10, 8 to 10, and then you proceed as you need. So if you try it on and it doesn't fit right, you want to take it and do more rows. Stop at 8 if you think 10 might be too big, and then, you know, just go from there. So this is all customizable, and it depends on your head size, your head shape, what size hook you're using. It doesn't matter how many chains you started with. It depends on how big you want this on your head. So if you want to have more give, if you need it bigger, if you need it smaller, that's where you customize this part. So you want to do as many rows as you need to fit on your head, and then you take it from there. So between 8 to 12, either number. I'm doing 10 rows. And the easiest way to identify your rows, just in case you didn't count or you forgot, is here. So as you see, when we first started, we went into the bottom part of our double crochets. So every double crochet matched a double crochet. That is row 1. It's not 2 rows, it's 1 row. Okay? So you start from that center point here. And on this side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, same thing here. Start at this point, 1, 2, 3. As you see, I have not completed the 4th row yet. So that's the easiest way I can help you figure out and identify where you are in this pattern. You want to keep going until you reach the amount of rows, and then we'll be back. Okay, we are back. Just finishing up row 10, inserting my last double crochet. We're gonna finish this off with a chain 1, and then we're going to cut our yarn. Okay, you could pull that through, save that for later. So this is what I have. Sorry, you can barely see because my desk is tiny. But this is what it looks like so far. And it has this little hooded part here, which this part goes over your head. Now don't worry, it's not going to be this short. We're going to add a few more rows as we make the straps, okay? Okay, so now from here, what we're going to do, this is what it looks like. You have a nice smooth dome shape for the dome. So for me, if you did as many rows as I did, if you kept it within the same lines of as I did, here's what we're gonna do. Just to make sure that you see, we have our center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I only went 10 rows per side, okay? So from here, this is where you're going to need your stitch markers, all right? We're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I'm going to count 24 stitches, okay? Now, you have the right to choose whatever you want to do. This is not set in stone, so this is the placement of your strap, okay? So this is where it will break off and become its own strap. And this is how high up or how low down you may want that strap to start and fit around your head. Unfortunately, this is a spot that you have to kind of play around with a few times to get the exact measurement. I've done it in the 25th stitch. I've done it in the 23rd stitch. So I just balance that out to the middle to do it in the 24th stitch. So it just kind of depends on the feel that you want that's going to give you the best results, okay? So it's all customizable. I'm going to go ahead and count my 24th stitch on this side and mark that off. Okay, now that I'm done with that, as you see here, I have 32 stitches across the top until I reach my stitch marker. So including those will be 34 in total for this next part right here. Again, there's no right or wrong way. You just kind of have to play around with the measurements to see what will best fit for you, okay? All right, so now we're gonna move on. So you wanna make a slip knot. And now we're gonna start with our chains. So this chain is gonna be the length of your straps. Make sure that you make them as long and or as short as you want them to be. Me personally, I want them to be a bit longer than what my actual do-rag is. So I'm gonna go a bit longer, but you do this to your comfort and to your desire, you know, whatever you like is where you take this. So I'm going to start with a chain for me personally of 70. Okay, 70 chains. And you also want this to be in an even number for the fact that we are still working in the mesh. So it has to be in an even number, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and work my 70 chains and then I'll be back. Okay, I have created my 70 chains. Okay, so now that I have my 70 chains, I'm going to rotate my work. As you see, this is how it's facing. This is the inside. You can still see my tail, and I leave that there until I weave it in at the end. And I rotate my work. I'm gonna fold this up. This is too long. Like this, okay? So, now from here, we're going to work completely into the side. Right where we have our stitch marker. I'm going to work right into that area. All right. So I'm going to go into this double crochet here. And remember, we did 70 chains. And I'm going to make a single crochet. Now from here, I'm going to do my stack single crochet and then chain one. So now I'm going to make a mesh stitch across this entire front piece. Okay, and I'm going to keep working double crochet, chain one, double crochet all the way until I reach the other stitch marker. Okay, from there we will do something just a tad bit different, but nonetheless it's very simple and it will be all the same. Okay, so keep working your mesh rows all the way around your top piece until you reach your other stitch marker. Okay, I'm right at the double crochet before I get to my stitch marker. Make sure I get that chain one in there. Okay, so now from here, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on this side. Okay? So, I'm going to yarn over, go into that double crochet with the double crochet. And then from here, we are going to make our chain. So, I did 70 chains on this side. I'm going to start with 70 chains on this side. So, I'm going to go ahead and start chaining and make my 70 chains, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I have made my 70 chains. So from here, again, just as we did in the start of this do-rag, you want to hold that 70 of chain and make 1, 2, 3, 4. I let go, but don't worry, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th stitch back. We're going to yarn over, skip the stitch that you were holding at the end and go into the next stitch with the double crochet. Chain 1. So again, we have our skip stitch, 1, 2, 3 for our double crochet and the chain 1 space. Okay, so it's 5 chains here in total. Don't confuse it, okay? So yarn over. Again, you want to make sure that you hold that chain in the right direction. You don't want your chain twisted here and then there. You want it to have a nice smooth edge. So wherever your top chains are is where you're going to follow that direction. You're going to skip over the next stitch, go into the following stitch. Okay, skip over the next stitch into the following. All right, and then we're going to keep continuing to do this basic mesh stitch as we have done throughout this whole entire project so far. Continue working all the way until we reach the other side, and I will meet you back right when we get there. Okay, so coming back around once we reach this stitch marker, if you did everything right, you should only have 1 stitch here, and then you will go into this stitch marker. Me, I have 2. So technically I would go into this stitch, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not perfect either, you guys, but I'm not about to redo all of this work. So I'm going to show you, if you did come down to a point like this, that you don't have to always take down your work and redo it. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go through both loops of this chain, and then I'm going to flip my hook and go through both loops of the double crochet. Okay, so then I'm going to pull through the first, and then I'm also going to pull through the last 2. Now this combines the 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Okay, so then I'm going to yarn over and complete my double crochet as normal. Pull through 2, pull through 2, and chain 1. Okay, so it's not the best looking thing, but it's also not the worst. So then I'm going to yarn over and continue doing my double crochet. Mesh pattern all the way until we get to the other side. Okay, so continue working this double crochet, chain 1, double crochet across the entire front of the pattern all the way until we reach the other side with the stitch marker. Okay, so now we are at our double crochet or our stack single crochet on the other side. You will have this weird stitch kind of thing right here. If that bothers you, I would suggest to find a way to not have it like that. I haven't figured it out. I don't think it bothers me as much. But if it does bother you, please leave it in the comments for anyone else who may have that issue. So from here, I just did my chain 1. I am going to go into this stack single crochet as normal. Hope so. All right, here we go. I'm going to chain 1, turn my chain in this way because this is how I want it. I want it to flow this way. And then I'm going to skip the next stitch, go into the following stitch, and do the mesh pattern as we have been doing this entire time. Okay, so nothing different. It's just as we did when we started the do-rag, and we had to create our mesh stitches throughout our chain. So we attached the chain first just so we can have an even flow of it going from side to side and not having to create a chain and then come back, because then it will be off centered. Like one side will be bigger than the other, so we'll have more rows on the opposite side. So you just continue this mesh pattern all the way down to the end, and you want them to have even sides. So if they do not, then we can figure out a problem, or we can figure out a solution from there. And the worst case scenario, you might have to take it down and redo this whole entire part if you can't find a way to make it work. It's always easier if you had too many chains versus not enough chains. Not enough chains, unfortunately, you may have to take down the entire piece. Not the entire piece, the entire front that we joined. That's the worst case, okay? But if you have too many chains, there's always room for combining them. There is not a big deal with too many chains. It's too less chains. Not enough chains is the problem, okay? So go ahead and finish this out, and then I'll be right back. All right, so we are down to our last skip chain and double crochet. So now this should match up perfectly as long as you did an even number. If not, you can always combine stitches. Again, it is hard if you do not have enough stitches. You might have to take it down, but very simple. Same pattern throughout. We're gonna move on, turn our work, and just a bit of advice. If you do happen to have a odd number or a weird number, just go back in and make sure that you skipped only one chain and not two, because it really can come down to you maybe have skipped more than one chain if your numbers don't line up. So that's a very important part, okay? Just double check your work, making sure that you only skipped one stitch, okay? So from here, since I don't want super bulky straps, I'm going to chain one. Okay, so now after that chain one, we're going to yarn over, go into that first double crochet with a half double crochet. Okay, we're going to chain one, yarn over, and do half double crochets throughout the rest of this row. Okay, now we are right back at the end. We are almost done, you guys. This is so simple. So we are going to skip the next chain and make our last half double crochet into the following chain. Okay, just like that. What I'm going to do is drop a hook size. So I'm going from an M to an L. And then I'm going to do my single crochets with a smaller hook, so it won't be so wide as the rest of my stitches, okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because we are in this together, y'all. All right, I'll be back. Okay, coming up on my last few single crochets, which the last one goes right into here. Make a chain one at the end and pull your yarn through. So as y'all see, I was playing yarn chicken. So here you go. Here's the top. The straps, as you see, they did come out longer than the durag. Here's the front, as you see what I meant by sealing off this top part. And I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to try it on. I'll let you guys see. And yeah, so you remove your stitch markers. You sew in any ends that you may need. It's going to be here. It's going to be here in the middle. And of course your end of where you cut your yarns. So 4 sew ins at the end of the day. And that's pretty much it, you guys. So I'm going to try this one on. Okay, so this is what I meant by kind of depends on where you want your straps to sit. And you know, what's your comfort level. Do it like this. Really big straps, but not big and, you know, overly big to where I don't like the way it looks. So that's why I did the shorter row and then the single crochets. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay, so now as you see the difference from this front and my front. So two different styles, really nice, very simple. The backs are the same. Yep.
So I made this do-rag. Very easy, very simple. I thought I'd share it with you all. Here are some ways I'm thinking about styling it for them days when my hair is just not cutting it. That simple. What you think? Let me know. Audio Jungle.